Today, we're going to find the greatest common factor between different numbers by using factor trees. Factors are the numbers you multiply together to get another number. The greatest common factor, or the GCF, is the largest number that divides evenly into two or more numbers. And let's get started. I want to find the greatest common factor between 12 and 32. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my factor trees. So your numbers that you're finding the GCF of, those go at the top. So I'm going to write 12 over here and 32 over here. And then I'm going to draw a little caret to show my tree. Now this means I'm going to have one factor here times another factor here. Those two factors have to be multiplied together to equal 12. So you can use any pair of factors that you can think of. So you can either do 3 times 4 or 6 times 2. I'm going to start with 3 times 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. Now your goal with the factor tree is to break down all the numbers to their prime. That means you're breaking them down until the only factors left of that number are 1 and itself. So for example, if I look at 3, the only other factors of 3 that I have are 1 times 3. Nothing times 2 equals 3, so now I know that this is a prime number. The only factors of 3 are 1 and 3, so this step you can do in your head. So when you get all the way down to this step, you know that the only factors of 3 are 1 and 3, so you circle it because you're done with that one. Now you need to come to the 4 and break your 4 down. I can break 4 down by saying 2 times 2 equals 4. Now I have to stop and think about my 2's. Well, the only factors of 2 that I have left are 1 times 2. So I can go ahead and just circle that 2 since I know the only factors of 2 are 1 times 2. So if I've circled this 2, it's the same thing for this one. So now that we've finished our factor tree for 12, you need to pull those numbers out and check. So come down below your tree and write 12 equals 1 is a factor of every number, so that's going to be the first number on our list, always. So 12 equals 1 times, I'm going to start my list so that I'm going from the smallest to the largest. So 1 times 2 times 2 times 3. Now we're multiplying because we're looking at factors. You multiply factors together to find a product. So now I'm going to stop and think. I'm going to check in my head. So 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. So that tree is correct. Now I'm going to come over to 32 and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start with any pair of numbers that when multiplied together equal 32. You can use anything you can think of that equals 32. I'm going to do 8 times 4 because 8 times 4 equals 32. Now I need to stop and think. Can I break these numbers down? I can. 8 I can break down by saying 2 times 4 equals 8. I'm going to circle my 2 because the only factors of 2 are 1 times 2. But I can break my 4 down. 2 times 2 equals 4. And again, I'm going to circle my 2's because their only factors are 1 and 2. Now don't forget about your other number up here. I also need to break this 4 down. 2 times 2 equals 4. And I'm also going to circle them because they're completely broken down. Now, you need to make your second list. So write 32 equals 1 is a factor of every number, so that's always first on your list, times. Now all these numbers are 2's, so I don't have to worry about going from least to greatest. So 1 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now I'm going to stop and think and check my list. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. And 16 times 2 is 32. So this list is correct. Now your next step is to circle all the pairs of numbers you have. So what that means is I'm circling numbers that are the same in both lists. So I have a pair of 1's. I have a pair of 2's. I have another pair of 2's. Now I get to my 3. I don't have a 3 in my second list of numbers to match up with this 3. I don't have a pair of 3's, so I can cross that off. Now I'm looking at my 2's that are left. I don't have any more factors in this list, so I do not have any more pairs. I do not have a 2 up here for this 2, for this 2, or for this 2, so I can cross those off. Now your next step is you have to pull out one number from each pair. So GCF, in this case, equals, I pull out one of those 1's times, because remember, we're looking at factors, so we're always going to be multiplying for this. Then I pull out 1, 2 from this pair, times, then I pull out another 2 from this pair. Now, in order to actually find your GCF, you multiply this right here, just go from left to right. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So your GCF, greatest common factor of 12 and 32 equals 4. 4 is the largest factor both of those numbers have in common.